Welcome to Lesson 3 Behind the Drum Kit. Okay, today, as you might be able to tell, or be able to tell soon, we're working on the bass drum. So we're going to do the same things we did with the last lesson, which was playing notes and resting, because there's not a lot we can do with the bass drum at the beginning other than just play the bass drum. All right, so we have two basic ways of playing the bass drum. We're obviously not holding sticks, so we have other things we can do. Way number one, the one that is the easiest one, but is only really available, to be fair, to people who have feet that are big enough to cover their pedals. There are some smaller pedals out there for smaller people, but typically people don't end up with those types of pedals. You don't see them that often. You see the ones that are too big for me, for a whole different bass drum technique. But for your standard bass drum pedal, it seems to be around size 10, 11 male shoe, and that is oddly specific, and there's not much I can do about it, right? But they do make smaller pedals, but unfortunately they're not the quality pedals they come with. I've had a couple of drum sets that come my way, and the small pedal is always sort of marked cheap, which is unfortunate. Doesn't need to be that way, right? All kinds of different sizes of people play the drums, and lots of people start when they're kids. All right, so if you have one of the small pedals, or you happen to be have a size 11, 12 feet. I have size 12. Then we have the heel plate right here. I'll just do it with one stick. No, it's not confusing. And our heel goes on the heel plate, so that the fulcrum of the pedal is right here. And then, like I say, the simplest way of playing the bass drum that requires no real thinking about it is just called heel down, which is where I do this. Right? It's like tapping your toe to music. It's a very natural thing to do. Right? For those of you who are younger, you'll probably grow up and your feet will be big enough. For those of you who are already there and your feet aren't big enough, we have another way of playing. Both of them have advantages and disadvantages. I play both ways. The next way is doing what I'm doing right now, which is heel up. Heel up means I'm using my leg to lift right? So the advantages of heel down are it's natural. It's quieter, which might not be of much interest at the beginning, but it becomes really important once you start playing with people out there in a variety of situations. Not everybody wants to know how loud the drums can be. They already know they're loud. And those are two main advantages, right? The main advantage of the leg up is it's louder, which is fine. And obviously, we've already talked about how it doesn't matter how big your feet are, you can still do it that way, okay? In both cases, the important, just crucial thing to not do is to let your foot come off the pedal while you're playing it. There's a bunch of reasons. First of all, you can hear mine kind of going blurpa. Well, I'm not doing it now. Yeah, there it is. But with that blurpa sound you're hearing is the sound of my foot hitting the foot plate and then following through and then finally hearing the bass drum. And if you have a noisy pedal, it'll actually probably be louder than the rest of your drums, so it'll just sound terrible, right? And even if I'm doing this way, we don't want to be doing this, like coming off and stomping, okay? So if the ball of our foot remains on the pedal at all times, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number one. When we play heel up, and I'm going to show a lot of heel up because I know the vast majority of people are going to probably need heel up or want to enjoy it, is that we don't collapse our ankle afterwards. If we do that, we get extra notes we don't want. There are bass drum methods where we want to actually cultivate that, playing doubles on the bass. That's one way of doing it. But we want to actually be in control of the second note. And when we flop our foot like that, we're not getting control of the note. It's not always showing up. So heel up like that. And our first exercise is literally just going. Not super exciting, but it is fundamental, Right? It is a fundamental kind of pattern that we play, so we're not going to discount it. All right, so all the rest of the examples in front of us now involve rests. So they're basically what we just played on our snare drum, but they don't involve having to worry about right and left. If you can probably see, I do have two beaters, and I can spend some time doing that. We're not doing that today. Right? These are terrible shoes for this, by the way. I wore them for comfort. They're a little bit wide, so they're kind of getting in the way. Anyways, so I'm just going to go quickly through each one, and then you can do it on your own. But the real exercise is doing this. All right, here we go. Number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Anyways, you can go through them all. It's the same deal. But when you stop playing for a rest, that's the other thing I want to cover. If I go 1, 2, I leave my bass drum here, especially with heel up. Because if I want to relax it, I have to lift my whole leg up to do that. And that's really not a good habit to get into. You can kind of get away with doing this, and this is, again, another advantage of the heel down. I can go and let it come back. But it's really hard to let it come back when you're doing this. So when heel up, we call it burying the beater. We want to have that in there. And that gives us a dead sound, which is very popular. So it's not a bad thing. All right? All right, so you can go through all those ones. I didn't go through them all because I think they're pretty straightforward. All right, but hopefully you can have some fun with your bass drum now that we have the snare drum and the bass drum under control. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.